Hi friends, Teacher Jamie here again to do our safety lessons for this week. I hope you've had a great week and you've enjoyed all the lessons that you've seen with all the different teachers. We're going to review really quick what we talked about last week, and then we're going to move on to some new things, okay? So last week we talked about our first safety rule, which is to never touch guns, right? So we shared a story about Amelia and Tamar, and they found a toy, or not even a toy, they found a gun in the closet of Tamar's parents' bedroom, didn't they? And they used the safety rules and they told a grown-up and they didn't touch it, right? So that is our first safety rule, to never touch guns. And then we also talked about the ways to stay safe. So this is the poster for the ways to stay safe, which I didn't have last time, but we talked about it. We talked about how the ways we stay safe are to stop and think. Is it safe? What's the safety rule? And we have to think about it. What should we do? If it goes against our safety rule, we need to say words that mean no, stop, it's not okay, stop, I don't like that, those kind of things, right? And then we need to tell a grown-up that we trust, right? So that's our ways to stay safe, and we're going to keep looking at this poster throughout our lessons, okay? Some other important safety rules that we have are to, let's see, here's one. Never play with fire. So that means we shouldn't play with matches or lighters, right? If you see a match or a lighter, what should you do? Think about our safety rules that we learned. If you see a match or a lighter, you need to stop and think. Does this break a safety rule? The safety rule is never play with fire, right? So does that break the rule if you see a lighter or a match? Yeah. So you're gonna not touch it, and you're gonna use words that mean no, and you're gonna tell a grown-up, right? All right. Let's see. What's some other safety rules that we need to remember? Have a grown-up person, have a big person watch you when you're in the water, when you're in the pool, when you're in the bathtub. Anytime you're near water, you need to have a grown-up with you, right? Yes, so they can keep you safe. Here's one. Get a bigger person to help you before using a sharp tool. Right? That's a big knife for a kid to be using. You need to have a grown-up help you. Here's one that we've talked about. Hold the hand of a bigger person when you're crossing the street. Right? You want to make sure you're safe and you're looking both ways before you cross the street to make sure there's no cars coming, right? You always got to watch for cars. How about this one? Wear a helmet when you're on something with wheels. So that could mean roller skates or roller blades. It could mean a bike or a scooter. You need to wear your helmet, right? Because what happens if you fall and you hit your head on something? That would hurt a lot, right? Yeah, so you need to have a helmet on to protect your head and keep you safe. Ooh, how about this one? Always sit in a car seat when you're riding a car. So most of you guys are small enough that you should be in a car seat with a harness like this. This part should be right up here by your armpits, right across from your armpits, and this should always be buckled. Okay? So, and it needs to be tight. It might be uncomfortable, but it needs to be tight on you so that you can't move around. That's how it is to be safe, okay? So always use a car seat, okay? Just like grown-ups need to always have their seatbelt on. And this one is my last picture. It says to ask before a bigger person in charge before you pet a dog. So sometimes dogs cannot be friendly because sometimes they're mean. But so you need to make sure that the dog is friendly before you touch it, right? You can't just pet every dog, right? So my doggy that you've seen, you probably saw him running around out here. He's friendly, but you still need to ask before you pet a dog, okay? Because they could be a mean dog and you don't want to get hurt. All right. And then, of course, our one we talked about last week, to never touch guns. So those are our big safety rules, right? And that's a lot to remember, isn't it? But really, what you need to remember is to think about it. Do you think it's safe? If it's not safe, then what should you do? You should tell a bigger person, okay? Let's move on and talk about something else that here. So we learned about the safety rule about guns, and we just talked about all those different rules, right? One way to stay safe is to stop and think. Is it safe? And we talked about all of those things, didn't we? Today's story is about children who use the ways to stay safe poster. So that's this one, remember? The stop and think poster. They remembered the safety rule too, and the story is about a brother and a sister. And their names are Dina and TJ. And they were playing a pretend cooking game in their kitchen. They opened the cupboard under the sink and they found these little packets. They were colorful, there was colorful liquid inside of them, and they look just like the ones in this photo. Dina thinks the packets look like candy and is so excited. She wants to taste one. Do you think it's safe for Dina to taste these little packets that she found under the sink? What do you think? I don't know. You might be saying it's not safe, or it could make her sick, huh? I agree with that. I think it might make her sick. TJ remembers the ways to stay safe, and he tells Dina to stop and think first. Is it safe to taste these packets? He asks her, what's the rule? Dina thinks, and then she remembers this important safety rules. Always ask a parent first. Always ask a parent first that's in charge. That's the always ask first rule. Let's say it together. Always ask a parent or bigger person in charge. Can you guys say that with me? Always ask a parent or bigger person in charge. Good. Dina says, I'm not sure if it's safe to taste the packets. I need to ask first. So her and TJ decide to tell their babysitter what they found. The babysitter thanks them for telling her about the packets. And she says that what they found are packets of dishwasher soap. Eating soap can make people sick or even hurt them, and it's not safe. Using the ways to stay safe and remembering to always ask first and think helped Dina and TJ stay safe from getting sick or hurt. Okay, so it's such an important thing to always ask first. I want you guys to remember that. If you're not sure, you need to ask. Okay? Because the bigger person in charge will know whether it's safe or not. Okay? So, can you guys say that with me? Always ask first. Good job. So next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about always asking first, okay? And then we have some other important safety lessons that we're going to learn in the next few weeks before we start school. All right. I'm excited to do more of these lessons with you, and I will see you soon. Bye.